I wrote a script that fetched data from a few thousand Amazon products that are on Creator Connections. And then I went through and I watched a few hundred of those. And one by one, I actually went through and I analyzed the video and I set different categories. And I looked at different things like the beginning of the video, the thumbnail, if the thumbnail has text or not, what style of video it is. After looking over everything, I gave the video my own rank. And then I've been analyzing this data for the past week. I have some really great information. It might be hyperbole to say that this video series is going to be the best thing you can watch to help you make more money in the Amazon Influencer Program, but I really think the data I found out is absolutely going to help you out. If you implement just like one or two really easy changes to your videos, you will be able to make a lot more money. So I made some predictions here based on the data I went through, and I broke this up into two different parts. The first part is straight up data. This is information that has nothing to do with how I view the video. None of it is my opinion. It's things like, what is the video duration? How many helpful votes does it have? How long has the video been posted on Amazon? And then the second part of what I analyze is kind of my interpretation of the video. So how would I categorize the first 10 seconds of the video? How would I categorize the first 20 seconds of the video? What is the overall theme or style of the video? How much production or editing went into the video? What would I rank it? How are the thumbnails? How are the titles? That sort of thing. So just for the data, here are my predictions. And I do want to mention, I actually know the answers to these because I've been through all the data, but I did write down my predictions before I did any of this. So as I go through and kind of read these, I want you to think for yourself, how would you predict things to be? So the first question I wanted to analyze is, does the length of the video have any impact on the carousel rank? Does it help it rank number 1 through 5? Doesn't matter at all. And my prediction is yes, I think it does. And the reason I say that is just because recently I've started to notice that some of the videos that ranked in the number 1 spot, they tend to be a little bit longer. So we're going to find out for sure if that is the case or not in just a bit. Another question I had is, does the product price impact the average video quality? And what my thinking for this is if you have some really cheap products, I think most people are not going to put a lot of effort into the video just because it's so cheap. So I think with the cheaper products, the video quality is going to be pretty low. I think for the more expensive products, you're going to see a lot higher quality items. And again, this is kind of just based on what I've seen and noticed for myself. Like if you're looking at high-end headphones or things like that, you're going to notice some really high quality videos. But if you're looking at videos like a pen or something like that, the videos are not going to be that great. Another question I've wondered about a lot is, how do helpful votes have any impact on a video's success, or do they? And what I've always thought is how long a video is up or placed in the higher ranks of the upper carousel, I think it just gets more helpful votes because it has more exposure. But a really cool thing I was able to do with this is I was able to get the upload date for the videos. So rather than just the total number of helpful votes, I was able to do that on average. So per 50 days, how many helpful votes are these videos getting? That gets much more accurate results. And speaking of the upload date, does that have any correlation with rank? And I think it probably does. I think the videos that tend to be in the higher spots, like 1 or 2, I think those were uploaded a longer time ago and they've just kind of stayed there. And then lastly, do more expensive products stay ranked higher for longer? Or in other words, if you do a video for something that's really expensive, can you expect it to stay in the top spot longer than maybe a cheaper product? And I think probably just based off how much competition you'll be getting. But I do think I ended up with some really good data for this, and all of these things kind of relate. It's very interesting, very helpful. The next thing I want to make predictions for is things that are more of my opinion, like how well do I think the video will perform? And I actually had a ranking system of 1 through 5, and it wasn't necessarily which video do I like most, but the ranking of number 1, for example, is if I watch this video, would I feel the need to watch another video or not? That's how I'd rank number 1. And then how I'd rank number 5 is, did I learn anything at all from this? And surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, there's a lot of videos where you just simply don't learn any information at all. People just holding up a product and saying that they like it. So one thing I wanted to predict is, does price matter for my personal ranking? So for me ranking a video 1 through 5, does the price matter? I think there is. I think we will see a gap from the first ranking spot to the 5th. I think in lower price items, we're probably not going to see a huge gap from rank 1 to rank 5. I think the video styles are going to be similar. I think with the more expensive items though, we're going to see a bigger gap from the top ranking to the lowest ranking. Then the next one, does video orientation matter? I think universally most people are saying let's do horizontal. I think there's a good reason for that. I think horizontal does do better, and I just need to tell you straight up, of the videos I reviewed, most videos were horizontal, so it's kind of hard to get good data on this. Do thumbnails and titles matter? I've always felt like titles and thumbnails are more of an indication. If people are doing lazy thumbnails, they're probably doing lazy videos, but I've always wanted to see some actual data. I was actually really quite surprised by the data for this. I found some really interesting and cool things. And then, does the hook or the first 10 or 20 seconds, does that have a big impact on the overall success of the video? I think we've all been on social media enough to know, yeah, it probably does. And then my last question is, does my personal rank, how I rank a video, does that line up with the top carousel rank being 1 through 5, 1 being on the top, 5 being on the bottom? And I really hope so, because I've been giving people advice for a long time and I hope that I am right. But one thing I want to point out is, for all of the videos that I analyzed, it was over 3,000. I made sure to only look at videos that had 5 influencer videos in the top carousel. So if a product only had like 1 or 2 videos, I skipped it completely because I really wanted to see what the difference is between rank 1 and rank 5, if it's any different, if it matters at all. And I have some great data. This video has gone on long enough. So in the next video, we're going to go over things like the duration, how long a video has been uploaded, helpful votes, price, titles, things like that. Let's find out what matters and what doesn't.